What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project, the new mod, Lit's beautiful Citroen C1, looking very small and tiny. This is the Lit edition, so it does have a little bit of a body kit in it. Before we jump in, though, we have got the Barefoot V12 on the speederboard in 8th. We've got a little AWR next to it, meaning awaiting review. It did manage to finish it in a 7.794 to the quarter of a mile, 17.574 to the 1 mile, top speed of 520 kilometers an hour or 323 miles an hour. The fastest in the top 10, definitely a very good. Fastest in top speed, not fastest to the quarter of a mile, but very, very good to the 1 mile, almost beating the beautiful time set by the Calope, which is also awaiting a review. It had the same issues as the Barefoot V12, so if that ever gets fixed, we will come back to that and give it another look and see what's happening. But back on to this beautiful build today. Let's take a look at it. I did say already it was the Lit edition. We got it from the Bad Auction House, so it's in under 50% all across the board there. The frame being the highest at 44%. Did we get a good deal? No. I bought it for way more than we should have paid for a Citroen C1, 15,298, and could only sell it as it is for 13,511, losing out on 1,787, which is never a good start. The engine in this is the i4 double overhead cam BFM engine with 279 factory horsepower. We'll be trying to increase that as much as we can in this little C1 today with our performance parts. Plus, you've already seen the thumbnail. I made just a cheeky little livery to go with this one. Nothing too special. So let's get into it. Let's get it started. Let's get it over to the car wash and get it cleaned up. Here we are then in the car wash with the little C1. Let's just get it all cleaned and see what's underneath this dust and grime. Lovely pink colour there. Definitely not what we're going with today, but looking absolutely fantastic. Loving that. Let's get the interior done. Get this little beast back on the lifter and start tearing everything down before we move into that i4 engine. The little C1's up in the air. Let's check for that oil pan first of all. There is an oil pan, so let's go and get all of that oil drained out. How good is this from our little French car? I've definitely seen worse, but still not good nonetheless. Let's get down underneath and see what we've got going on then. This is front wheel drive, so before we do anything, we need to get these front wheels and front drive axles off. So I'll do that, and I'll be back in a second. Wheels and drive axles off. Let's get in. We need to get the front drive shaft off. And I'm chuckling to myself because I've just remembered I forgot to get the starter out. So let's go and grab that starter out. There we go. Always missing that damn starter, but there we go. Let's get the gearbox out now. Out you come as well. Last rusty bolt. Out you go, and then we'll get this front exhaust section out as well, just to be on the safe side. Nice and easy. Let's get this lower back down and see if we've done enough to remove that little engine from that engine bay. Over you go. Let's get that hood open one more time and see if we can pull it out. We can indeed. Definitely what we like to see on there. What have we got going on in this engine bay today then? First off, let's check if there's anything missing. Doesn't look like it. Definitely pleased with that. Then we've got the radiator with a fan housing kit here. We've got a medium intercooler down the front, wishy-washy reservoir, coolant reservoir, ABS pump and module, tiny little ECU dotted just up there. Then we've got the power steering reservoir, a lovely air filter with the cover and the fuse box on there. We'll just get this air filter cover off. Battery and the brake servo all got to be drained out. 1, 2, 3, and 4 got to be drained out. Everything's got to be stripped out. Got to remember to put that battery on charge. We've also got the fuel tank and the fuel pump, so everything looks like it's there. Let's get draining. Right click, additional tools, a drain tool. Click and hold on the container and it'll drain out. Nice and simple. We're going to get the rest of this all cleared, and then when we come back, we'll work on the bodywork. That's everything mechanical sorted for the little C1. We just got to sort this little bodywork out. I was going to say beautiful, but I'm not so sure yet. So let's start stripping it off. Out with the headlights, off with the hood, out with that lovely windshield. That's a lovely little fender. What else have we got around here? Body window. I'm assuming there's a rear bumper, but it's missing. Tail light, nearly missed that one. Anything up here? That all related, that all related. There doesn't look to be much. I think that might be everything. Let's just jump in and get the interior out. Just the one seat remaining in there. I'm assuming the other seat and the steering wheel are missing. But have we got everything? Let's have a look. 1% on there and nothing showing up on there. So we do have everything off of it. 44% on the frame, and I bought it for just over 15,000. I'm gonna go 500. 701, just as we like it. The added little extra one, just for good measure. Brand new mod. Let's see what we've got in the body shop for the beautiful Citroen C1. So there are, straight away, a few different front bumper options. Not sure which one we're going to go around with. I'm going to have a play and see which one I like the look of. We can remove the windshield wipers because they're a separate part, apparently, or have them in. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to have a play with them and see what's going on. That's badges. I'm assuming the rest of that is badges then. We will see in a bit. A couple of different front end options, depending on which one we want to go for. Probably going to be relatively the same as what it was. Then we've got door options, one with the rubber strip, one without the rubber strip, although you do still get the stripping, just not the black detail on there. Rear fender, front fender, sorry, is just what it is. A couple of hoods to play around with. Looks like black badges on there. I do like me some black badges. Tinted or non-tinted lights, same for the front and the back there. A couple of different rear options, taking some of the plastic off. We shall see. A couple of different trunk options as well. And that's pretty much it. Nice and simple one. Let's just start getting ours all back together, ready to head over to the paint shop and get that beautiful livery on. Let's get this little C1 all back together then and get it into the paint shop. We went for the beautiful hood Bs with the black badging on there, looking pretty good. Kept the same headlights, they were tinted, and we managed to repair them. We'll just leave that at that. Front bumper is the option B. The difference between A and B is the A has little caps blocking these little lights. The B has them open. So we're going to leave them open. They look pretty good on there. And then for the front end, we went for the front end D, which is completely blacked out, looking pretty good. Fenders are just what they are, so let's get them on. Then the windshield, it is just the windshield, so on you go. The doors, we stuck with the A doors because I did try something in the livery that didn't work with the alternative doors, and if it works with these doors, I'll be very, very happy. So we'll see that in a minute, but if not, we will swap them back to the B doors. So we'll put them on and we'll check out with the livery. On with the mirrors, on with the window in you go there as well. Then down the back, rear bumper B, keeping it with the open, didn't want that black plasticky sort of bit on there, although we've got it on the sides, but hopefully they won't stay. We shall see. Tail lights B, nice and tinted, in you go and in you go. The trunk, we went with the paintable one, which was swapping it a little bit, but we shall see how that turns out in a bit. Car part 2, we went for the piano black badges to match the black badge at the front there, and car part 1 is the windshield wipers, so we just put them back on as they were. In with that beautiful window, on you go. Let's get around and get the rest of this finished off, and then get this one into the paint shop, ready to put on that livery and see if these side stripe bits work. In we go, in we go, in we go. I think that's all of that. For the license plates today, our VM plates, we've gone for black badge C1 on there. Not quite, but we got it to fit, so there we go. Round to the front, on you go as well. And then let's throw this interior in. In we go. Oh, I haven't bought a steering wheel yet. Let's get in and get the rest of the interior in, starting with that steering wheel 8. In we go there. And then the seats, I have swapped them. I've swapped them to the Nismo seats because I like them and they look pretty good. And also the grey is sort of the same as the grey on there. Hopefully we can add a little bit of colour to this a little bit later. But is that everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. Fantastic. Let's get this little beast into the paint shop. Well, here she is then, a metallic black base all the way around with that metallic green triple stripe going front to back. The mirrors in that metallic green as well, along with some of the interior in there, looking fantastic. Also managed to get some of the inner door cards in that beautiful green and a little bit of the engine bay just around the strut mounting up there. A little bit of trim down the side and a little bit of double striping on the front there. Looking very good. I am very, very pleased with how this turned out. It's a little basic, a little simple, but it is what it is. Obviously, the black badges, the Citroen badges on the green stripe look fantastic. Hard to see on the actual black trunk lid there, but still looking good nonetheless. That's the colour scheme we're going for today. Lovely bit of black and green. Looking very good, so I'm going to crack on and get everything else painted, and we'll get it back on the lifter and start getting it all back together. Here we are then with our beautiful little green on black Citroen C1. Looking absolutely stunning up there. We need to start getting the suspension all together. We got black shocks, green springs and black caps on there. Just running in the black and green colours. Looking very nice. Let's get underneath. Let's get started. We're going to start with the medium intercooler as normal. In that lovely, very metallic-y green up there. Looking good. Front cross member is in the black with the front knuckle also in the black there. rubber bushings in we go while we remember them. Before we forget, I was trying to say. Steering rack in the green and the sway bar in that green there. Then we got the inner tie rod in a black with the outer tie rod in a green. Just alternating a little bit there. Let's get that shock on that we've already seen. Looking very good. On you go. Then the lower suspension arm is in that green. Looking tasty on there. And then we've got the knuckle cover in the green with the front wheel hub just in a little black on there. And then we've got the bearing. We will have a drive axle to go in a bit later, but we will come to that one once we got the engine and gearbox in. Brake disc on you go. A brake pad on you go. Sway bar end link just in a little black, finishing that off. And then the brake caliper in the forced chrome green on there. Looking very, very good. Can't pick the wheel on because of that drive axle. Well, that's the front section done. Let's get down the back. Rear cross member in the black. Rear knuckle also in the black, and then we got the sway bar in that lovely green. We're going to throw this suspension arm in the green, and then we're going to get all of the rubber bushings done. One here bolted up, one up here bolted in, and then we got another one up here bolted, and then a little one down the bottom that doesn't need bolting in because it gets bolted in with the lower suspension arm in that lovely metallic green. Looking very nice on there. Then we got a black spring cap with a green spring and a black cap on the top of that one. Looking pretty good. The lower suspension arm down here also in that metallic green. On we go. And then we've got the upper suspension arm also in the green. Nicely done there. Keeping plenty of green down the back, even though it is predominantly black. Black on the shock there. And then we've got the wheel hub in the green with the wheel hub. I meant knuckle cover with the wheel hub in the black. Then the brake disc on you go. We got a bearing and no drive axle because it's front wheel drive. So we've got a lovely little green hubcap on there. Brake pad on you go. And then brake caliper in that force chrome green. Looking very nice on there. Sway bar end link just in the black. And then we should be able to put the wheel on, although we're not going to. Fuel tank up here just in the black with a chrome and green fuel pump. Looking very, very nice. That's half of the suspension done. We're going to crack on and get the other half all done before building that beautiful engine bay. And then in to build that beautiful i4. Well, what do you guys think of that black and green under there? Looking absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. Very pleased with it. Do let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And while you're down there, do hit that subscribe button. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers. But let's move on. Let's get the engine bay all sorted. Sorted? We'll say sorted instead. Wishy-washy reservoir, coolant reservoir, brake servo, and the power steering reservoir just in there. Cheeky little battery tucked in the top corner. Then we've got the stage 3 ECU type B in there, and the ABS pump in a green with the module just in a green on top. This is tucked a little bit far back. Quite hard to see this one. We will take a look at that in a moment. Then we've got the fuse box fully in a green on there. The air filter base, I kept it black because the only way I could do it was with a forced chrome green, and I just don't like it on these plastic parts so much. Just not. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we just left that one in a black. The radiator is in the green, though. The fan housing kit's in the black with a chrome green fan on there. Looking very, very good. Pleased with that. Let's take a step away. As I say, you can't really see that ABS pumper module just tucked in nicely, hidden at the back there. Still looking very good, though. Pleased with that. Let's go and build the i4 with its beautiful little turbocharger, though. In we go. We're just going to start getting a few bits on. The water pump is in a little green under here. We got the first idle roller just on there. Then we've got the oil filter down here in a lovely little black with the alternator blacked out. On we go. And the power steering pump also blacked out on there with a little splash of red just on the outside. Some more of that to come. Let's get the big old engine head in, though. In you go on there. And we're going to find a nice little central spot. I'm going to click in. And I'm going to crack on and get all of this finished. We know the drill. 2 camshafts. 8 camshaft caps in total on you go, and then 4 spark plugs along with 1 timing gear on the end and some timing gears on the other side. But we'll do them in a little while. So I'm going to get all of that finished. I'll see you in a second. All of the spark plugs, camshafts, cam gears all in, and let's get down the front and sort out these timing gears. One just on there. Then we got an idle roller just here and a lovely serpentine belt connecting it all together with a belt tensioner just to finish it off. All of them bits apart from the belt coloured, should I say, even though they are going to be covered by this force chrome green timing cover on there, keeping that all closed in nicely. Let's nip round the back. Let's get this rear side cam gears all sorted. One in there, timing chain on top, and then the other cam gear on the other side with a black timing cover on the back side here, keeping in line with that engine head, looking very nice. The fuel filter is in a lovely chrome red, looking absolutely stunning on there. We've got underneath here the fuel injectors also in a chromed out red, looking very nice. One more just in there to go. And then we've got the intake manifold, which is in that metallic finish, looking very, very nice on there. Pleased with that. Then we've got the throttle on the front of that in a cheeky little black, just finishing off that side. Lovely bit of black and green in there. Do get 3 different tones of green, but it still looks good nonetheless. Crankshaft pulley just in a black. Then we've got a blacked out belt. If I could click on it, there we go. And then the last idle roller just in there. Let's jump up the top because we've got to get that engine head cover on. That is in a forced chrome green as well, matching in with that front timing cover. Looking pretty good. Then we've got coil, ignition coils, and also coil covers, all in the forced chrome red to match in with the other red elements on this engine. Not too much, just a little splash of it here and there. Exhaust manifold is in the metallic green, same as the intake manifold over here. Looking very good, and it is the same as the rest of the exhaust. Hopefully matching with that stripe going down the middle, because the exhaust comes out central out the back. Beautiful turbocharger in the same green, but does have a few splashes of red on there, just to try and blend it in with some of our other bits of red. Looking very good. Pleased with this one. I'm going to grab some pictures, and we'll get it dropped in the C1. Time to see how this inline 4 turbo engine looks inside our little green on black C1. Let's get it dropped in. Hopefully it's going to look pretty good. Get that crane put away. Let's have a look in there. The chrome isn't too reflective in there. That's looking pretty good. In fact, in most lights, it looks almost the same color as the metallic manifold on the front there, along with that lovely little stripe. Looking beautiful. Pleased with that. Let's get it up in the air, though. We've got gearbox. We've got some drive axles. We've also got some exhaust to go in. And that cheeky little starter, which we're going to have to put it back down on the ground for. Anyway, but let's start with the gearbox. This is in a green, but it's a much darker green. And the reason it's darker is to try and blend it into that engine block a little bit more. But also to blend it in with this front drive axle. Very beautiful color on there. This is the same color as everything else, but in that gearbox it just looks a little bit different, and I quite like it. Let's get the drive axles in, one there and then one on the other side as well. In you go. Nicely done. Then we've just got the exhaust to go. Front exhaust section in, middle muffler in you go. No catalytic converter, straight in to a rear muffler for this little beast. Looking pretty good under there. Let's take a step away, go all the way down to the back and see that exhaust poking out the end there in a very similar green, if not identical. Let's get it back down. We do have to get that starter in anyway. That is almost perfect, that green. Looking absolutely fantastic there. Loving that. Let's get the starter in. The last piece to go in before wheels and tyres. Just in a cheeky little black. Just in there to finish it off. There we go. That's everything done for the moment. I'm going to close the hood. I'm going to get wheels done. Windows tinted. Liquids topped up. We'll get this beautiful C1 outside and in the sun. All finished with the beautiful Citroen C1 by Lit. Looking absolutely fantastic in this black and green metallic-y combination. Looking very beautiful. Loving the black badges on there in the green stripes. You've also got them at the back. We do also have the Citroen badge and the C1 badge all blacked out as well, but they're on black, so you can't really see them. Let's talk about these rims, though, because these are fantastic. We went with the Rim 31A. They are the rims that came on it, although they're not the rims that came on it. We went and bought some slightly bigger ones. We've gone for a 17-inch rim here at the front with a 205 width and a 35 profile on there. And the backs are exactly the same, 17-inch, 205 width with a 35 profile. Looking very, very good. Obviously, the green metallic strip, edge, whatever you want to call it, rim around the edge of the rim there. Black in the center with our chrome green brake calipers in there. The engine is looking absolutely fantastic. Really does look beautiful in this light as well. Really enjoying that. But let's jump inside. Check out this interior. I'm loving it in here. We've got a bit of green on the Nismo seats that we put on this one. A bit of green on them door cards. And I left the steering wheel as it was. But the rest of the interior is looking pretty good in here. And it goes 170 miles an hour lit. I don't know if it's miles an hour or kilometers an hour on there, but never mind. The top speed is lit on this one. Let's get it started and see the i4 turbo sounds like. There we go. Exactly the same as the i4 4x4 turbo. Same engine, just doesn't need to be four-wheel drive. Let's give it some gas. There's that beautiful turbo whistle at the top end, sounding absolutely fantastic. And the little grumble on it isn't too bad as it revs up there as well. But let's get this little beast onto the dyno, see what this one's horsepower will be and what its drag rating is. Here we are then on the dyno with the Lit Edition Citroen C1 and its turbocharged i4 engine. 279 factory horsepower. How much have we added with our performance parts today? And what will this one's drag rating be? Let's have a look. A gain of 250 horsepower, 90%, not bad considering we only started at 279, bringing us up to 528 total horsepower from the little Citroen C1, and a drag rating of A, 627. We're in the top class. Will we be any good though? We'll head over in a moment and find out, but before we do that, here's our gearbox tuning setup for today. I've gone for a 2.75 ratio, 80 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to 361 kilometers an hour, typed out in fifth. I'm not sure we'll quite get up there, but we'll see in a moment. ECU fully tuned. If you do need help with that, there is a short on my channel, how to tune the ECU, and another one, how to tune the carb. This one obviously doesn't have carbs. But let's get over to the drag strip, see what we can do with our little Citroen C1. Another day, another car back at Dune Way Stripe Raceway, this time with the 2006 Citroen C1, King of the Sands, 1 mile, A-class. Let's pay the 1,000 entry fee. Who have we got in here today? McLaren F1. What else have we got? Batmobile. That's nice. Oh, our first race is against the Black Copper Rayfield Caliburn. Liking that one. Multiply is in a McLaren F1. King Slowpoke is in the Red Steel Rayfield Caliburn. Almost couldn't say that. And Payne / Dead Bob is in the Blue Neon Bronze Rayfield Caliburn. So we've got a few Rayfield Caliburns in there today. Few different options, few Batmobiles, some Skylines. Let's get into it. The Black Copper Rayfield Caliburn is our first race. Let's go. I do like that Rayfield Caliburn, the black bronze, and a little hint of blue in there just for good measure, although I feel that car is incredibly overpowered to be racing off against the Citroen C1. So let's find out if we can do it. Let's get in. Let's just go. Off the line. Not the easiest of starts in our little Citroen C1. Rayfield Caliburn pulling away from us, although now we've stopped spinning so much, we are starting to catch and go past it. Definitely happy with that. We will be able to keep it up, though, until the end of the drag strip. So far, so good. Let's just try and get across the line and see what the times are going to be in our little Citroen C1. We're still winning. Come on, little car. Let's get across the line. There it is. What have we got in our first run? A 10.829 seconds to the quarter of a mile. By no means the quickest. We did just about beat out that Rayfield Caliburn with a 10.883 to the quarter of a mile, but 25.5 seconds to the 1 mile versus 26. We did all right, had a much higher top speed in the Rayfield Caliburn, but 333 kilometers an hour isn't bad from us. Sadly, we lost King Slowpoke, a bit of a shame there, but Multiply is still in the McLaren F1, and Payne is still in the Blue and Neon Bronze Rayfield Caliburn. We're up against the Ford Fiesta Rallycross. Two little micro cars. Should be quite a good combination there. Let's see if we can win and then face off against a different Rayfield Caliburn or the McLaren F1. Two micro cars on the start line. One of them a little bit wide body kitted and definitely race spec. Ours definitely just a little cheeky little street spec on this one today. Should be quite interesting. We will be able to beat the Rallycross Fiesta. I certainly hope so. But let's go. Pulling away into second after we spin into third. Now we will be able to catch the Ford Fiesta into fourth gear. We're coming up next to it. Can we just pull past it and stay in front? Definitely like that. Into fifth gear and we are in the lead. Come on, little Citroen C1. You can do this. I'll be amazed if you can win this tournament and very, very, very happy. Let's get across the line. See if this was better. There we go. Was this any better than our first run at 10.844? Not quite as good as our first run with a 10.829. 25.567 to the 1 mile. Again, just that tiny little bit slower with the top speed is still exactly the same. Let's get into the next one. Well, Multiply is out in the McLaren F1, and our next race is against the McLaren F1. That is a car I always expect to lose to. We will find out in a minute. Payne is still in, though, against the Nissan Skyline GTR Raid Edition. I bet that's a rare colour in real life. That beautiful looking blue on the McLaren F1 should absolutely smash our Citroen C1 down the drag strip. Let's just find out. This could be our last race of the day. So let's go. Pulling away. Let's try and mitigate, whatever you want to say, this spinning as much as we can. Although I don't think we're going to do much today. I don't think we're going to catch that McLaren F1, which is a bit of a shame. This Citroen is definitely a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, just not quite as fast as some of the other vehicles we come up against, namely the McLaren F1. I did expect us to lose this one, so it is what it is. Let's get across the line, though, and see what this one was like. There we go. Was it any better? 10.878. This just got slower as we went on. That is pretty much standard how it tends to go a little bit. And a 25.596. Also a little bit slower with the same top speed of 333 kilometers an hour. Sadly, we're out in the third round, but we did get 3 in, so I'm happy with that. Let's go and see who's going to take the tournament and see how much our winnings are. Well, sadly, Payne got knocked out in that round as well as us. So the final is the Nissan Skyline GTR Raid versus the McLaren F1. Who's going to take it? Let's find out. It goes to the Skyline Raid, and I'm a little bit surprised by that. I thought the McLaren F1 was going to have that. But we have made some winnings today from our drag tournament. 1,250, obviously, once we've taken away our entry fee. Not too bad, but let's get back to the garage and see if we can make a profit on this tasty little Citroen C1. Well, there we are, all finished with our black badge lit edition Citroen C1, looking absolutely fantastic. Very, very pleased with this one. On to some times for the speederboard. We managed to get the 1/4 of a mile in 10.829 seconds from this little beast. The 1 mile in 25.524 seconds with a top speed of 333 kilometers an hour, pitting it 46th on the speederboard out of 53 in total. Absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed this one, but let's talk some facts and figures. Now, we bought the car for 15,298 and could have sold it at a loss of 1,787, but we obviously didn't do that. We since spent a further 57,917 modifying, upgrading and tuning this car, putting our total spend at 73,215. Can we make a profit from this little car? Well, there we go. We can see it now, all 100% completed. Absolutely fantastic. With that engine ramped up to 528 horsepower, a gain of 90% from the factory. That's definitely pretty good. Can we make some money, though? 73,215 is what we spent, and we can sell it for 92,363. Definitely pleased with that one, leaving us with a tasty little profit of 19,148 plus our drag strip winnings of 1,250. Leaves us total profit 20,398 from our beautiful little green and black Citroen C1. That engine absolutely looks beautiful in there. Very, very pleased with that one. But it is time to say goodbye. Link in the description below, by the way, if you want to grab this one for yourself. And you should. It's a cheeky little car, but it's definitely a lot of fun to work on. There we go. Off you go, Citroen C1. What have we got up next? Well, we're back to some drag races. This is another Ford Mustang, a drag edition. This is the 2000 Ford Mustang. Looking absolutely fantastic. Not my favourite Mustang of all, but definitely not my least favourite. So it's going to be good. We're going to have some fun with this one, trying to increase it as much as we can. The end, we won't talk about the engine yet. Did I get a good deal? I actually did. 4,680 is what I paid, and I could sell it for 5,872, making a tasty little profit of 1,192 right here before we even start. The engine in this one is the V8 double overhead cam, a supercharged engine. That's what we'll be keeping it in there. 1,493 horsepower from this beast. It's going to be absolutely incredible, and I cannot wait to get stuck into it. So this is what we're going to be working on next time, and that is the end of today's video. I do hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please consider subscribing. We're very, very close to 1,000 subscribers now. Don't forget to leave us a like and leave us a comment. Let me know what we should do with that beautiful Ford Mustang drag, or any suggestions for any of the cars that you want to see me work on. Plus, I've had no suggestions for our next 3-star build when we get round to it. So leave me a comment with one of them. Have a beautiful day, whatever you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.